So you go to your Mule management console and start your MMC. Okay, you can go to the command prompt and you can run the command. Let me start it and show you once again. So it will ask you for which one you want to shut down. And giving one, I want to shut down Mule and MMC. Okay, now we'll start with fresh, from starting. So once you extract your bundle MMC with this is the MMC you need to download. Once you extract the bundle, you can go inside that and you can see that where is your startup and shutdown batch files are there. Go to your command prompt to start your MMC. Okay, and locate the path. First, change the directory. If you are installable on D directory, then go to the same directory. Okay, once you are at that place where you have the commands startup and shutdown BAT files, just type the startup.bat to run that batch file. So let me run it. Run as administrator. Okay, now it will start your MMC as well as Mule, both the. So if you see here MMC 3.7.var. So your MMC is deployed on and it will open with the Tomcat version. So if you go inside that, you can see that Apache Tomcat. So MMC is running on top of the Apache Tomcat. Even you can separately run if you want to run only this MMC, you can go here and inside the bin you can see some startup file. So yeah, you can run this one also independently. You can run. So it is starting, and once it is up and running, you can see the endpoint where is it is. I mean, where your server is running. You can see that. Okay, now you can see that finishes starting Mule and MMC. See both Mule and MMC. Okay, and now you can see that where is it?
Purna garu, in MuleSoft, if it is once it's already running, it is asking to shut down and do it by again. Whether we have to shut down, it will delete the previous files or
Shutdown means, I mean, this MMC and Mule you are talking.
yeah, yes.
Yeah, yeah, it will not delete. It will not delete that. You can shut down it.
Okay.
So basically I will show you that where that files will locate once you deploy the application. So this is your Mule, right? And inside the Mule you can see that apps folder. So all your deployed applications will come under this folder. So even your shutdown, you do shutdown, it will not delete the applications from here. Okay. Even you can directly copy paste the entire package to here. So once you export from Anypoint Studio, you will create the package, right? So that package you can directly copy paste here. It will run that application under the server. So your MMC is open, and you can see that there are list of options which you can explore here. You can see that real-time feeling like development, production, staging, and testing. All the servers which were running, you can configure here, and you can see that how many applications were deployed each and every environment. And if you want to stop any application under a particular environment, you can go to that environment, and then you can start or stop or deploy and deploy. So you can do all those kinds uh, such kind of things from MMC only. Okay. And also you can also do some clustering also. If you want to implement cluster environment, you can implement using the MMC console. Okay. Now you can see that how many registered services are there. So there is one server is there. This is Mule 3.7.0, which is running on this location. Okay. The server location is this one. Now we want to deploy one application here, right? So I'm not going to deploy this flights API because this is having some other components which are not supporting in the 3.8. Like as I said, data wave is the one of the component which is not supporting there. Okay. So let's see any application we want to deploy and see that other application which is not having much things. So I think this hello world is not there, right? It just has one HTTP requester and a set payload component. So we can deploy this one. Let me see the configuration. If any configuration was dynamically set, you need to put the property value inside the property file. You see here it is static value. You don't need to keep it like that. Now right click on your application and go to your Anypoint platform, and you can see that there are two options like deploy to cloud and deploy to Mule management console. So we have already done the deploy to cloud successfully, and we have tested everything. Now deploy to Mule management console, you just select that one and provide the password as admin. I think you can also deploy this web service consumer also. There is no wave language. Did we implement a wave language here? It just since it has direct some transformation, even is a transformation, but we did not write any wave language inside that much. We'll deploy side by side and see that which one is working. Now, once you deploy the application, if you get success inside the Anypoint Studio, now go to your deployments, and now you need to add your application. Why we need to add here? Your applications get deployed in Mule server. From the server, you need to add it to the MMC console to see that application, right? So you can see from repository you can add the application, and you need to select the application, server name, and also you need to
But
provide.
isn't having any like certain limits for deploying the files elements, like having any certain limit on that to deploy the files in this
Number
one?
of applications.
Yeah.
No, on premises we don't have, but in Cloud Hub you have only one application you can deploy and run it at a time. Since because of the trial version, if it is if you purchase it, you can run it multiple application on that. But here you can deploy it multiple. It will support. Yeah. Now if you see that it's got success, right? Now let's see one more application also we can deploy it, right? We added two applications. We'll try to deploy that one also. Just click on deploy. It will get deployed and show you that result for you. If it is successfully deployed, it will show you the green symbol. If it is failed, you can see. So I think this is also failed. You can see the same 500 error. So might be the transformation something is not supporting inside that. Okay. You can see that it is still in deploying mode, but still it is failed. But anyhow, this is successful. You can test this application whether it is working properly or not, right? So HTTP localhost hello world. So now you can see that result which is there. So in set payload, we set like that, so it is coming the same way. Okay. So this is how you can deploy your applications on Mule Management Console. We'll deploy the flights also, even whether it is even it is failing. Still, you can see that how to deploy application on that simply. Okay, now if I want to stop this application, I can undeploy the application simply. Okay, or in here, one second. Yeah, if I want to undeploy, I can undeploy or redeploy or anything. Now if I want to add some new application, I can go here, I can select my application name, which is already there in repository. Okay, now I can give some name here, then select your server where you want to deploy. In real time, I mean, it depends on your deployment, production, staging, or testing. You need to select this one and then deploy. So it will deploy on that server. Okay, so like this, you can see that difference. If it is failed, you can see that it is failed, and if it is successfully running, you can see that green color symbol. Okay, is that clear? And inside that, if you want to track something, you can do it like you can do the flow and flow analyzer here, right? What are the differences means? When you are saying difference means what is that? Can you? I didn't get your question. Both are same. I mean, any point studio you cannot see like this, right? You cannot have any now web browser administration console. Anyone Studio is just like a development tool which has bundled with the Mule server. So you can see it here only, but in real time you should not do like this. Once your development is complete, you need to deploy the application. So this is administration console. So both are quite different. Okay, when you are running the application, it will be same. I mean, when you are running from Anypoint Studio or MMC, it will work like same, but it is administrator tool. So once your development complete, you need to deploy the applications on your server and you need to maintain the application that you cannot handle through the Anypoint Studio. Okay. And when it comes to the Anypoint platform, like a Cloud Hub, Anypoint platform and this one both are same. The difference is it was on cloud and this is in uh, on premises. That is the difference. Okay. So now you can select if you want to track some application, you can select like this. Okay. Inside that, which flow, let's say this is our project name. Inside that, multiple flows you can create, right? So that flow also you can select here. And if you click on the start, it will start doing that debugger kind of thing. Now if you try to, did we stop this? No, right? Okay, I think we stopped the flow here. Yeah. So if you stop it, it will not go right. So you need to start this control flow. Yeah, now it will work, right? Now you go to your flow analyzer. Now you can see one message for this one, right? So that message ID you can see that and what is the time it reached. So like that you can have some tracking on your messages when the message coming and where it is failed. So it's like some logger you can see and you can have some archiving kind of things here. So if I press here one more time, I can see one more message. I press two times here, so it should be something like okay. So all your messages will be here. You can see everything here. It's like auditing entire flow. So that will happen only when you start your flow. You need to select your project and then you need to select which flow you need to start it. Okay. And once you start and process the message, then only you can do that. And also you can see that how much processing time it took to flow that message, right? So if you click this one, basically if it is once you click this each and every flow, you can see that what is the payload it is processing and what are the inbound properties here. right? You can, if any inbound properties are there, you can see that inbound properties, or if any, say this is the before payload for each and every flow, before payload and after payload. So before payload it is null, after the payload it is hello world, right? So such kind of information you can see here, you can track it, everything. So all your message details, you can track it here basically. Okay, like inbound, outbound properties and variables, session variables. If you say, if you have any session variables also, you can just see that. Let me see. I think I have one question here. Let me see that. Is it having a chance to access data from one system to other? No, hello world. I mean, if if your system having my system access with my port, it is in LAN, then you can access. Right, on premises is like that only. You cannot access it. I mean, directly from here to your place, you cannot access. If it is deployed on Cloud Hub, you can access. Okay, but for your question, one system to another system, yes, you can access. Still, I mean, if it is in LAN connections, we can do it in real-time connections. So they will enable the ports, right? VPN connections. They will do that. Network team will enable your port and all. So they have to enable your port and IP address. Then only you can access it. So from your system, what you have to do in that case? Instead of local host, you need to type my IP address and port. Then you can able to access it. That is the way you do in real time. Okay. So administration console, you will not give it to all the people, right? Only administrator can do that one. So, and your server access, so who will access? I mean, let's say if you're deploying your Mule application on your Mule server, so that server access can be done by only administrator, right? It will not be reached to anyone. Any other questions? So this is the way you can see that. So we have seen that how to register a server first of all. Let me explain you what all the things we have seen using this MMC. So to register this, so you can simply add and you can new server. I mean, if it is not default showing, you can do the new server and you can provide your server information. Okay, you can click. You can see here server name and Mule agent. So once the server is added on top of this server instance, you can deploy multiple applications. Okay, so to deploy the application, you need to go to deployment and you need to click on new. Okay, and then you need to select the application, whether it is from where is your application is deployed. Is it in a repository or you need to upload a new application? So if you click on the new application, you can go to your browser and you can select any application and deploy it. Let me deploy one more application which I'm having. Let me deploy this. And this was also done in 3.8 only. Yeah. So
Hello?
Yes.
పునః ఇప్పుడు రియల్ టైమ్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ లో
Hmm.
విపిఎన్ యాక్సెస్ కంపల్సరీ ప్రతి మ్యూల్సాఫ్ట్ డెవలపర్ కి విపిఎన్ యాక్సెస్ కంపల్సరీ ఇస్తారా?
ఇప్పుడు MuleSoft డెవలపర్ మనం కాబట్టి ఐ మీన్ ఈ సర్వర్ ఎక్కడైతే డిప్లాయ్ అయిందో దానికి కంపల్సరీ ఉంటుంది యాక్సెస్.
ఓకే, అంటే విపిఎన్ యాక్సెస్ కంపల్సరీ ఎవ్రీ మెంబర్ షుడ్ గెట్ లైక్ విపిఎన్ యాక్సెస్ లేకపోతే మనం డిప్లాయ్ చేసి వేరే వాళ్ళకి పంపిస్తే వాళ్ళు యాక్సెస్ తీసుకొని వాళ్ళు చూస్తారా?
నో, వాళ్ళకెందుకు, వాళ్ళకి ఇవ్వం కదా. ఇప్పుడు అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటర్ ఎవరో,
Yeah,
అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటర్, వీఆర్ ద అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటర్, రైట్? యు ఆర్ ద
yeah,
డెవలపర్
yeah.
అండ్ యు ఆర్ ద అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటర్. Your team
Okay,
and whoever, I mean, working on this Mule, they can only access this administration console and they can only start and stop the application. If they are giving to everyone, everyone can easily stop or start the application, right?
okay, okay.
Only application, once you deploy, they can test the application. That's it. Okay.
Yeah,
Like when we deployed on Cloud Hub, I deployed on Cloud Hub. I have the access, but you don't have the access, right? To do any changes. If I give permission to you, then you can do it. So real time also like that only. So you will not give permission to everyone. Only the administrator and developers who all are can do the changes on the application level. They can only do the changes. And to test the application, everyone can test it. So hello world application, it is deployed on let's say this is a local host, right? So when you are giving to someone, you will not give the local host 8081. Don't give like this. So instead of local host, give with your IP address. Okay. And if they have access to your IP address, then they can able to test it. That is how it will work.
okay,
When it comes to the high level, they create a domain, and based on the domain, it will access. They will access that URL. Clear? So we have deployed the application, and I showed you that how to, I mean, track the application. So if you want to track it, you can track the application. And remember that this tracking we do in a development level only. We will not enable this option inside the production because it will that is not the best practice. At the same time, it will consume some memory also. Okay, so for test, test and development, you can do it. You can enable this option, and you can see that what message is coming and what message is sending you, and what are the properties which are assigned to that each and every message, and also how much time does it taking to process a message. So such kind of information you can easily track it using this one. Okay, and you can also create some alerts here if you want it. So this is alert creations. So you can click here new alert, and you can create new alert based on your different kind of exceptions. If any exception coming, or so your server is down, okay, server is up. Whenever these things are happen, you want to notify the administrator with a email or something, then you can give some alert kind of things here. Okay, and this is the admin who has the access and who can give the. So this admin is having access to all these kind of things: developers, monitor, and server administrator. Okay, so if you want to stop that flow analyzer, you can still stop from here also. Okay, so now you cannot able to track the application because we stopped that flow analyzer, so it will not show anything here. Okay, any doubt so far?
హలో పూర్ణ గారు,
Hmm.
ఈ రియల్ టైమ్ ఈఎస్బి ఎంటర్ప్రైజ్ దాంట్లో మీరు ఒక ప్రాజెక్ట్ ని తీసుకున్నారు కదా, అట్లా ఎన్ని ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ చేయొచ్చు అండి? ఒకటి దాంట్లో మల్టిపుల్ ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ చేసుకోవచ్చా, లేకపోతే ఓన్లీ సింగిల్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ మీద ఇట్లా వర్క్ చేయడానికి వస్తుందా?
Real
అంటే యాక్చువల్ ఒక
time.
టూ త్రీ ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ ఇచ్చారనుకోండి, ఇచ్చారనుకోండి ఆ ప్రాజెక్ట్, ఒకటే ప్రాజెక్ట్ రన్ చేయడానికి ఒకటి యూస్ చేసుకోవాలా, లేకపోతే అకౌంట్స్ అట్లా డిఫరెంట్ యూస్ చేసుకొని చేయడానికి ఉంటుందా, లేకపోతే ఒకటే దాంట్లో డిప్లాయ్ చేసుకోవచ్చా?
It depends
How
on
to
the let me say it depends on that modules and depends on their projects. They will clearly tell you that whether this project is related to the one which you are working or is it separate. Okay, so if it is the concepts are related to that one, you can have it in a single project and you can deploy it.
okay, yeah.
Okay, if it is different project, then you can create a new configuration or new project and you can deploy. And that doesn't matter even if you are developing in single application. Mule has the capability to easily change it. We already done that one, right? Editing, I mean removing some code in from one XML to keeping in another XML. We have done that such kind of things. So even from project to project also you can, if later if they are saying that why you are implementing all the code in one application, we are expecting that these two are should run in different application, then you can simply take that XML configuration and keep it in some other application. Very less work you need to do it, that's it. So let's say if I want to implement some accounts flow inside the flights, let me show you that how it will be. So here, so inside the flights only I want to implement some accounts flow. I can implement separately also, but my requirement is I want to do it in the same application only. So then I can one second. So take the Mule configuration file and give your some accounts.xml like this. Okay, let me take the question. I think someone has some question meanwhile. Timeout, time running inflow. What is this, Teja? Can you repeat it once? I did not.
Yeah, if you don't mind, can you open that Google page, browse page?
Yep.
In flows, having some timing is running over there. What is that? Isn't
Where is that?
in flows?
Flows. Okay. Oh, here you have seen some time running. That is one you are asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is flow analyzer. If you are enabling that flow analyzer, so if you go here, this one, right?
Yeah, flow analyze.
We analyze this flow, and if you stop this, it will stop it. That's it. So how much time you want to analyze that flow? Okay. So till that time, whatever the messages are coming, it will track each and every message. It will track here. Once this time expire, then it will not track anything.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
And that should be like 60 minutes, or like some any particular limitation?
You can have unlimited.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you can stop it at any point of time. This is not that much kind of thing. I mean, even you are setting 15 minutes, still you can stop it in the middle also. After 1 minute you don't require, you can simply stop it. That's it. This MMC is not that much attractive tool. I mean, they just build some of the things, just flow deployments and running application and stopping application only for that one only. Hope they are going to add more features in our new releases. Still, they have done a lot of things inside the Anypoint Studio. They keep on adding more interesting things inside the Anypoint Studio, but they haven't touched anything in MMC. This was still old version only. If you take some other integration tools, they have very good administration console and compared to this Mule, they are far better than. That is one drawback. If someone asks you what is why other people are choosing the other integration tools compared to the Mule when Mule is providing all this kind of stuff, you can still tell that Mule has administration console, but still it is not that much attractive. It has a limited features to do that, limited options inside that. So if you want to persist, you cannot persist. If you want to delete, so let me tell you how the other integrations are having. Let's say I will take the BizTalk as one more integration tool, as like a Mule. Okay. So in BizTalk, what happens once you deploy this application, any flights or anything, after you deploy application, you want to change your receive location. Receive location means if you are receiving through the file right now, tomorrow you want to change that to file to the FTP location. So in Mule, what you have to do? You have to go Anypoint Studio. You have to remove that file connector and add FTP connector. Then again deploy it. But in a BizTalk, it is not like that. You can see that what is the receive port, what is the send port, where you are sending. All configurations you can see at the administration console level, and you can easily edit and you can easily remove it. So that much flexibility it has. But here it is all the connectors are tightly coupled with your flows. Most of the other integration tools were loosely coupled in connectors with the flow. Okay. They started adding features on Cloud Hub, and most of the customers also interested to see this in Cloud Hub only. So say why they did not release this Mule MMC 3.8, because the same server can be accessed inside the Cloud Hub also. You can add the same thing, same MMC instance in Cloud Hub, and you can access from there also your local on-premises server also you can add it. Okay, let's come here. 1 second, guys. Okay, so now if I have the requirement which I want to implement some accounts flow, that accounts flow, if I want to add some flow, we'll implement some batch flow. We'll see that how it will be. Let's drag and drop a batch. Okay, so you can see that when you are dragging this batch, okay, it will come with this one: input phase, process record phase, on complete phase. Okay, some people will ask you what are the different kind of phases when you are using a batch process inside the Mule. If you are seeing by seeing here, it is like three phases, right? Input, process records, on complete. But actually, it is four phases. The one more phase, it is a load and dispatch. Okay, that you cannot see that it is implicitly will apply that after input phase. Okay, load and dispatch will happen, and then process records will happen, and then on complete. Okay, if you want information, you can go to the site and you can look it. Have a look how the batch process in Mule. Okay, so this is the batch process, and you can see that input phase and okay. Here you can see that how the batch job it will be: input, load, dispatch, process, on complete. But if you see the diagram, it shows you only input, process records, on complete, right? The component, not diagram, it's the component. Okay, so the load and dispatch will apply implicitly. Okay, and this is the required component. These two are the optional components. It will be Okay, batch jobs, when we use the batch jobs, basically when you have a set of records and if you want to iterate each and every record and process it, okay, then you can go with the batch jobs. Okay, let me simply implement some batch job and we can see that. I'm using some file connector here. So I added already two folders here inside the SRC main resource. I delete this. I don't want this. Yeah, I added input and output folders. Okay, like you can add these folders inside. I mean inside your C folder or C drive or D drive. Okay, for understanding, I added here itself. I mean this also same. It is if you want to see the location of that, you can go to your workspace. Inside the workspace, you can see that. So this is my workspace and not this one. Where is my workspace? Inside the training workspace, flights API, SRC, main resources. So these are the folders. Okay, we created here and we are pointing from there. That's it. So this is the file folder and I want to read some of the file here and process that records. So the file which I am trying to read is accounts.csv file. Okay, so I have the requirement like this. I have a CSV file. I want to read this CSV file and I want to process this as a batch wise. That means record by record. First record, second record, third record. So record by record, I want to process it. I want to do some enhancements on top of these records. Okay, so it can be CSV or it can be database or anything. Okay, when you are getting hundreds of records and you want to process record by record, then you can implement this batch process. Okay, so you need to set that from where you want to read this. So just copy this location SRC main resource inside the path slash copy input and paste it. And also you can set the where you want to move once it is processed. You can set here move directory. Okay, and if you come down and you can you can see one of the file name regular expression, right? So there you need to just add here and here you can simply give some dot CSV. Okay, and we'll say that it's not a case sensitive. Okay, and exchange pattern also I don't want to keep it one way. I think it's coming automatic. Okay, let it. Okay, so your input phase, you define that where you want to read the file. So from the input, we are using here file connector to read the file. Okay, inside my and I want to process all the records as a batch wise. Correct. So to do that inside the batch, what we can do? Okay, so first we'll convert this CSV file into some Java kind of things. We'll use the transform message component here. And here CSV to Java, right? So you don't need to do much here, simply put payload. Okay, and also we'll use one variable to store something here, whether it is properly coming or not. So what we can say here inside that, we'll see that size of the payload. That way we can identify, right, how many records we are getting. So the command for this payload dot size, open and close. Okay, so this will give the number of records. So in my CSV, how many records are there? It will be like here it is 3 records, so I should able to get the number 3 here in size variable. Okay, now inside this you can see multiple batch steps you can create. This is the batch step, and if you drag one more batch step, it will come like step 1. Yeah, you can see that batch step and batch step 1, 2, like that. So you can have multiple batch steps inside the process records. Okay, and we'll do something inside the one batch step, and we'll see how it will be. We'll add some variable here also. Okay, so inside that variable we'll read some name here. So to read name from payload dot, so what is here, it is a name, right? So copy this one and read this one. Okay, so in this variable I want to read name. Now we haven't used the record variable, right? Let's use that one also, record variable. Okay, so we have given this flow variable, right? Flow variable name. Now we'll give this r name. Okay, means a record variable name. So this also will give the same thing, payload dot name, payload dot name. Okay, let's keep some logger. If you are running in debug mode, we can see it. And batch step 1 also you can have some logger. Same way you can implement, I mean, like how you are implementing in batch step. Batch step 1 also, if you want to add some message process, you can add it here, and you can, I mean, load some data there also. Okay, so in onComplete, if I want to see something, I mean, how many records are failed, how many records are processed successfully. Okay, then we can do that also. Like let me keep this payload dot process. You can see here automatically it comes show you for process records. Okay, so this is the one more question they will ask, what is the result set which you see in onComplete at the batch process. So you should say that it's a batch job result. Okay, so the batch job result will come, and you can see that all failed records and input phase execution, everything. These are the fields you can track it, total records, successful records. Okay, so this will give some name here, what we can, so this is a processor record, right? Processed, and this should be in single quotes. Okay, so this is processor record. Now I want to see that some of the failed records also. So failed, yeah, new line characters. I want to see that in new line, otherwise it will come as a single line. Okay, failed. So let me give some colon here. So whatever you are keeping inside the single code, it will display as it is. Okay, whatever you are giving here, this will give the result from this variable, and it should be plus payload dot. We need to get failed records, right? So I think it should be there somewhere. Yeah, select failed records. Okay, let's see. So this is where you can build a batch job and you can implement. Okay, this is simple batch job. We are simply reading from one CSV file. Okay, in our next class, I will show you that how to read it, how to pull the data from the database, and when it comes to a batch of a bunch of records, how to do that batch implementation on top of that. Okay, now let's see whether it runs properly or not. In real-time scenarios, batch jobs also we use frequently in our projects. So go to this site and have a look. Okay, understand what are the phases and how it process each and every record. Okay, as I said, there are four phases like load, input, load, and dispatch. Okay, and process, and then one more is uncomplete. So what happens? Let's say in the input phase you have 10 records. Okay, so when it comes to the process records, how it will come? So as I said, that there is a load and dispatch phase, right? So inside the load and dispatch, it will implicitly run back and it will run everything inside back end only. You cannot see that how it is running. So it will create one queue and then it will place each and every record one by one. And then when it comes to the process records, it will process job wise, record by record. It reads record by record. Okay, so it will work like that. I think I can show you somewhere here in the link. You can see, yeah, here you can see that. So it will create implicitly one queue and it will load all the records like this, record by record. So when it processes to the batch job, it gives a record by record. Okay, and one record completes, so then another record will process. Okay, now let's test. So we just copy this one and paste it inside the input folder. It should get activate, right? Because whenever you place some file inside the input folder, we are saying that read that file. So this will behave like a trigger point. Okay, your file connector will work like a trigger. Whenever file it says on that input folder, then it will start reading that file. Okay, and it reads that file and it process like this. Now if you go to this, So now you can see that how many records clearly. After converting it to the hash map, linked hash map, you can see that each and everything as a record by record. Okay. Okay. Now you can see some variable here, size of the variable. Okay, 3. So we set like that, size equal to payload dot size. That's why you could able to see the value of the number of records here. Okay. Now if you go here, you can see that one more will add here f name, right? First name, sorry, that the flow variable name. You can see here dog park industries. This is first record. If you understand that this will be a first record. Okay, so this is the first record it is reading. Now one more record variable also we are trying to read it. So the same you can see here, record variable. Okay, now second iteration. So iteration coming 3 times. Okay, first iteration, first record, second iteration, second record it will read. Okay, and on top of the second record you can do it whatever you want. Okay, for now we are doing the same thing here, and you can see that second record name. So second record name is this one, and you can see the same thing here. Okay, and third time, so since it has 3 records, so it goes third time, and you can see the name of the third record. Okay, so in this what you are learning here, you are reading record by record, and inside the record if you want to read some values you can read it. See here we are reading name, we are trying to read the name and we want to see that, so that is what we are doing inside this batch process. So here 3 records got processed successfully. If something is wrong, it will throw that uh, it will throw that only 1 record is failed and 2 records processed successfully. Okay, like that it will show you. So first batch step is complete. So first batch, once the first batch step complete, then it will go to the second batch step. Here it is batch step 1 it is showing, but basically we call it as batch step 1, this one, and steps 2, like that. You can rename it, no issue. For clear understanding, you can rename it. It's not a problem. Default it come like that. Okay. So in this batch step, are we doing anything? We are not doing anything. We just kept one logger here, so it will not do anything. So if you see that it runs 3 times, the same way batch step 1 ran 3 times. Batch step here also it will run 3 times. Second time and then third time. Okay. Now you can see here on complete phase. So as I said, on complete phase, you can see all the process records and failed records, everything. So once you click that, I think it is ran again. Are we moving or not the file? Just keep on taking that same file. Okay. I think it's keep on taking that record, but you can see that logger how it is. Okay. Yeah. So total records processed 3, right? This is the batch job result. Okay. And the successful records, failed records 0. Okay, you can see the result. So basically what happened, it is not deleting this record, so that's why it's keep on running. So if you go to input folder, it's keep on running this record. So basically I think we kept this one, move to directory. It should move. If it is not, just delete from here. I think we need to stop it one. Okay, anyhow, we have seen this result, right? How it is processing total records and successful records, and how it is processing record by record. Okay. Any doubts here? Let's stop this. Okay. So this is the one of the way because it's exchange pattern to implement a batch job. Okay. So you can try using if tomorrow you'll see that batch job with
పూర్ణ గారు
mm-hmm.
యా యాక్చువల్ గా మీరు ప్యాటర్న్ రాస్తున్నారు అది ఎందుకంటే స్టార్ డాట్ సిఎస్వి అనే ఆ ప్యాటర్న్ లోనే ఉండాలా ఇస్ ఎనీ పర్టికులర్ ప్యాటర్న్
లెట్స్ సే ఇన్ యువర్ రియల్ టైమ్ లో ఏమవుతుందంటే మీకు they will give you one folder FTP location or something. Okay.
ఓకే
That
వాట్ ఎవర్ ద
FTP,
ఫోల్డ్
in that FTP location you are looking, but sometimes what happen if something went wrong, they might have dropped some txt file or some other files. Okay. You still, if you are not declaring here pattern, what happens, it will take the txt file and it will try to process it and give you some error, right? So to avoid that situation, you just you are mentioning here what type of pattern you want to read it. So if you are mentioning this csv file, then it will read only csv file, it will not read the other file.
ఓకే
Okay. Even if you are placing some other files, txt file or .xml or .json files inside that input folder, it will not read that files. Okay. It will not understand. So only whenever the .csv file placed, then your trigger will start. Clear?
ఓకే యా
Okay. And you can also try polling based also, like poll connector is there. So use this poll and inside that try to drag and drop database connector and everything. Okay. Okay, I think it's better. I think we'll stop here today and we'll continue that process because it will take some time because we need to connect database and some other connectors, Salesforce or something. So we'll continue that in our next session. Okay. Hope you understand this batch processing, how it will work. If there is any doubts, you can ask me now. I can get.
యాక్చువల్గా పూర్ణ గారు మీరు ఇప్పుడు ప్రాసెసింగ్ రికార్డ్స్ లో వేరియబుల్ రికార్డ్ వేరియబుల్ అని చెప్పి మనం ఇప్పుడు రెండు ఇచ్చారు కదా అంటే లాగర్ కాకుండా వేరియబుల్ లో వచ్చేసి మనం ఇక్కడ మళ్ళీ ఏం చేసాము వాల్యూలో డైరెక్ట్ రాసేసారు కదా మీరు వేరియబుల్ రికార్డ్ రెండు ఆప్షన్స్ మన కింద ఇప్పుడు
ఇదా ఇక్కడ
యా యాక్చువల్గా ఇక్కడ నేమ్ ఇచ్చారు ఫస్ట్ దాంట్లోనేమో మీరు మామూలుగా వేరియబుల్ అని ఇచ్చారు కదా
ఫస్ట్ దాంట్లో కూడా అంతే కదా ఇచ్చింది పేలోడ్ డాట్
నేమ్ ఇచ్చారా ఇది ఒకటే ఫైల్లో వచ్చేటట్టు ఇస్తారా లేకపోతే ఇప్పుడు ఇవి రెండు సపరేట్ ఉన్నాయి కానీ ఒకటే ప్రాసెస్ లో ఉన్నాయి కదా రికార్డ్ ప్రాసెస్ లో
ఒకటే ప్రాసెస్ లో ఉన్నాయి కానీ మనం డిఫరెన్స్ చూపించడం కోసం నేను ఫ్లో వేరియబుల్ అండ్ రికార్డ్ వేరియబుల్ అని క్రియేట్ చేశాను.
ఓకే
Basically we use record variables when it comes to the batch jobs, we use record variables.
Okay. Yeah.
Just for understanding, this is just a sample and to understand how batch job will work, how this batch component will work. I just give you a sample overview on this. Okay. So as I said, you need to understand what are the phases and how it will execute that batch wise. So input phase, load and dispatch, it will not show you, it is implicitly it will work. Load and dispatch phase, and then process phase, and then on complete phase. 4 phases when you take a batch component. Okay. And inside the batch process you can have multiple batch steps, and each and every batch step will run. Once the previous batch step complete, then only second batch step will start work. Okay. Any doubts? Okay, that's good. If there is no doubts, then we can end up this session and we'll see tomorrow. Okay.